right, thumbs up. Okay, guys, we're back on IFCO-TV. We're with Greg Stetzel right now, Dr. Greg Stetzel from Branchville, New Jersey.
Branchville, yes.
Yep. He's the vice chair of the IFCO, so that's pretty awesome. Past president of the Garden State Chiropractic Society, so very big deal, folks. And Greg, now I know you practice with your wife, so I want to talk a little bit more about that as well.
Okay.
Because we might have some guests at home who have either are about to get married and co-chiropractors, husband and wife.
And when we talk them out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's start there. I know Kim's very active, and you're very active. So let's just start there. What's it like having a husband-wife combo office?
Well, having the husband-wife combo office is great. It gives our patients the opportunity to have either a male or a female doctor, soft touch or my touch. It gives our practice a lot more depth and the ability to serve more people who want different kinds of things in their care. So it works out really well.
Awesome. And so now, for the viewers at home and myself, we don't know a lot about Greg Stetzel at the moment. So let's share with them, who's Greg Stetzel and why do you do what you do?
Well, I decided to become a chiropractor fairly early on in life. In fact, I knew at the age of 5 that I wanted to be a doctor of some sort because when I was 5 years old, it was discovered I had a heart murmur. And back in 1963, a heart murmur was a big deal. So the doctor said to my mother, you got to take him to a hospital, get him checked out. And they took me to a hospital and put me in a gown and marched me down the echoing halls and into big rooms with huge machines that made a lot of noise and a lot of strange sounds and cold and people talking to my mother but not to me. It scared the hell out of me. So I decided right then at age 5 that I was going to grow up to become a doctor that took care of kids and made sure that they felt safe and comfortable when they were being cared for.
Okay.
And when I got home, I told my mother I wanted to be a doctor, which she thought was really sweet because I went to a hospital, I wanted to be a doctor. She had no idea why.
Right.
And I held on to that. And it became the family joke with my mother, oh, my son, the doctor, and all that. And at 17, I got sick. I got spastic colitis, which is a very painful cramping in your abdomen. It's a precursor to Crohn's disease. Not a lot of fun.
Wow.
And for 2 years, my father would have to take me to the emergency room 2 o'clock in the morning with horrible cramps. I had my knees tucked to my chin, and they pumped me full of drugs. Nothing worked. So I was in constant pain for that entire 2 years. And my father started to see Arnie Tao, the chiropractor in Nutley, New Jersey, who became my mentor. And Arnie told my father, well, bring him in to see me. We'll see what he can do. Well, at that time, I was pre-med in Rutgers University because I was going to be a doctor.
Right.
And I wasn't going to no chiropractor. And my dad said, that's fine. You don't have to go. Next time you have a problem in the middle of the night, walk to the hospital. Yeah. So on Friday, off to the chiropractor we went. Right. And Arnie did his exam on me, and he put me into a room with a bunch of people and said, I'll be right out. We're going to have a little discussion. And he came out, and 2.5 hours later, when he finished his orientation, he said, come on in, we're going to look at your x-rays. And we went into a room, he put x-rays up on a view box. I didn't know if they were mine or not. And Arnie said, well, you have a problem here, and here. I don't know if it's causing your pain. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you an adjustment, and we'll see what happens. And he laid me down on a table. He made a couple of pops, and there were some clicks. Right. And he got to the lower part of my back, and he pushed, and I felt a snap, and I saw a bright white flash in my eyes. Wow. Now, I trained in karate at the time, so I was no stranger to joint injuries and pain. Yeah. And I'd seen that white flash before. But this time there wasn't any pain. And I got up off of the table, and the cramping in my abdomen was gone. Wow. Awesome. And there was no pain. And I looked at him, I said, what did you do? He said, that doesn't matter. Your body's fixing it. And he turned around and he reached up on a counter. He grabbed a brochure. He handed it to me and said, you should consider this. It was a brochure for Sherman College. Awesome. And 2 weeks later, I was enrolled in chiropractic school. Oh, nice. So he changed not only my health and my life, but my future. Wow, that's an incredible story. That's how I became a chiropractor. Yeah. Wow, I never knew that. Awesome. So what motivates you now getting up in the morning? Because how long have you been a chiropractor for, Greg? Oh, thanks. Just about 30 years. Okay, awesome. 30 years. And so what motivates you now? Because I just passed my tenure, and I'm super pumped up, and I'm thinking 20 years, 30 years, because we're here
New Beginnings Live, and there's a lot of the elders here in the profession that have been practicing for 40 years, 45 years, and I still see them excited and pumped up, and I'm hoping I'm that way when I get to their age. So now you're at 30 years, just about. What keeps you motivated?
My story.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I've been working with Dean DePice.
Okay.
And one of the things that Dean does with us is kind of digs into you a little bit and says, "Why do you do what you do? What's your drive?"
Right.
And I'd been working on that, and it really came to the surface that my story that I just told is why I do what I do, and what keeps me excited being in practice, because it's easy to get stale.
Yeah.
Particularly if you get into the groove where the patients are coming in, all they want to talk about is, "Oh, it hurts here. Oh, it hurts here. Doctor, what can I do?" And all that stuff. And then on the other side of that, why do I have to keep coming?
Yeah.
It's easy to get stale, to get tired, and to really lose interest in what you're doing, because it's constantly a battle, unless you have a way that you can tie in what really drives you to do what you do, and transfer that to that patient in some way, so that their reason for being there is much more than their back.
Right.
So that's what keeps me going every day, is that I think back to my story, and every time a kid walks through my door, I know I have the opportunity to fulfill my dream right then and there. I can make sure that kid, when he walks into my office, is comfortable, isn't afraid, knows that they're there for a good purpose, and it's really a lot of fun, because parents will bring their kids in just as like attachments as they come in for themselves.
Right.
And we'll say, "Have you considered getting your kids checked?" "Oh, my son would never get on that table." And we eventually convince them that, it might be good just to check. Let's just see.
Yeah,
because
that's how I do it too.
Just to check is a good thing, because we can find out if there's a problem. If we can catch it early, then they can grow up healthy.
Right.
My son would never do that. Okay, well, let's just try. And the first time, they might cry, they might fight, because what are they used to? They're used to going to a doctor that's going to prod them and poke them and stick them with needles and scare them and fill them full of drugs, and they know that's not good for them. After their first visit with us, the second visit, they'll run in the door, run into the adjusting room, and jump on the table, regardless of who's in there.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if there's somebody on the table, they're pushing, "Get off. It's my turn."
Happens at my office as well. Yep.
So we get to fulfill our dream. We get to be the doctor that we wanted to be, and we get to really get in and help families, especially the kids, so they can grow up healthy and stay that way for a long, long time.
Awesome. That's great. I really love. We might have a question here. Let me just take a look over here.
Don't you love technology?
Yeah. Okay. We do have a question. Great. Awesome. What did your parents say 2 weeks later when you told them you wanted to go to Sherman College?
Well, my dad was into chiropractic. His father had gone to a chiropractor. He had been seeing a chiropractor, Arnie, for quite a while. So he was excited about it. And my mother said, "You're going to be a what?" My mother had no idea what a chiropractor really was.
Right.
And then when she found I was going to Sherman College, she, "You're going where?"
South Carolina.
Because my mother was pretty much a Jersey girl. And
Right. Yep.
It didn't make much sense to her that if there's a school in New York, why would I go to South Carolina?
Right.
And why would I go to school that's like out in a cornfield someplace that's surrounded by cows?
Yeah.
She had no idea.
Right. Yeah.
She had the same feeling when I moved back to New Jersey and moved to Sussex County, which was all cows again.
Right.
So my mom's always been a little bit confused about my choices, but that's
right.
Mother-son stuff.
Of course. Well, they're concerned about you too. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's very, very important. Now, for when we're checking and adjusting spines in our office, I feel there's nothing better than that when families start coming in, mom, dads, and the children. You experience that over the years?
Yeah.
And now when we were talking a little bit earlier with Ron Castellucci, and he's very big time into pediatric adjusting, ICPA, all those. And so he was sharing that with us. But what's the youngest you've ever checked a child?
The youngest?
Yeah, the youngest.
That would be my daughter. She was about halfway through the birth process.
Right.
She came breech.
Okay.
And her chin got engaged at the pelvis, and I could see that she wasn't moving along very well.
Right.
And that's about when the time the paramedics arrived.
Wow.
Because we did a home birth.
Goodness. Yep.
And the paramedic was going to reach in and start to pull on her and assist in the delivery process.
Right.
And I told him that would be the last move he ever made. And I kind of pushed him away, and I adjusted her cervical spine, much to his objection.
Right. Yep.
And as soon as I adjusted her spine,
Right.
she relaxed, my wife relaxed,
Wow.
and she came out.
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah,
it kind of shocked the paramedic, because he was certain that he was going to have to do some manipulation and twisting and turning and pulling.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, I don't think so.
I'm so glad that
she
you
was
were
my
a
youngest.
chiropractor.
She was my youngest adjustment.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You had some amazing stories.
Yeah, I usually keep them myself.
Well, I'm glad we can share it with the audience.
Yeah, this is great.
Let's talk. I want to talk a little bit about IFCO too, because I know vice chair on the board. We do a lot of work with IFCO, and specifically the global summits coming up. We were in 2013. Was in Dominican Republic. Had a great time. You were down there. I was down there. Let's share with the folks about the 2013 Global Summit and what to expect in 2014.
Well, 2013 was in the Dominican Republic, and it was a great experience for everybody who attended. We had chiropractors from all over the world who came, told their stories, shared their philosophical experience in chiropractic, and really got the group charged up to come back and start to serve better. That's really been the goal of the IFCO. And I was FSCO for years beforehand. And FSCO, as good as an organization as it was pretty much an East Coast chiropractic society. And that's the way we were seen. And I and some others saw that we needed a bigger vision. We needed a bigger reach into the chiropractic community. And we needed to take our message not just across the country, but around the world.
Right.
And when we changed to IFCO, there were some people that were hesitant, let's say. That, changing to an international organization was going to really shoot us in the foot. We were going to lose members. It was going to be really bad for us. And all I can say is that in the first 6 months after we became the IFCO, we were no longer an East Coast Chiropractic Society. We were all the way out to California.
Wow.
Almost immediately. We pretty much doubled our membership just in the U.S. In that first 6 months. And then in the first year, we tripled our membership with international members.
Wow.
So we are now in 12 countries with IFCO organizations and chapters. We have student groups in almost every college. And we've been able to really expand the reach of the IFCO's mission and message around the world in a very short period of time. And the summits have really given us the opportunity to come together with our international society. And all of our international groups in a way we couldn't do before.
I know later on the show we're going to have Tom Gilardi on, and he's going to be talking about mission and philosophy. But mission is vitally important to not any organization, but IFCO. The mission is what drives us, and that supersedes just about everything. So let's talk a little bit about the mission of IFCO. What's our mission?
Well, you've got our mission posted over here. But what our mission is our mission is to promote and preserve chiropractic as we understand it and as we know it, based on chiropractic's philosophy and intent everywhere around the world. And we've had the opportunity to really work on that when we became international. We've actually been able to intervene in several other countries where they were trying to remove subluxation from their vernacular. We've been able to help some of the chiropractors in Australia who have been having difficulties with the chiropractic overlords trying to remove the ability to take care of kids. And that's why I'm a chiropractor, to take care of kids.
Absolutely.
So we've had the opportunity to really reach out into the profession and do something positive and allow chiropractors to practice chiropractic and not have to do what their licensing agency says is chiropractic or what their governmental agency says is chiropractic, but what we know to be chiropractic. We've been able to help to preserve that and promote and grow it, which has been really beneficial. And it allows us to maintain our mission and expand our mission throughout the chiropractic profession.
I know Christopher Kent, brilliant chiropractor, and he's helping writing laws for countries that have no chiropractic in there yet, and they're getting them passed. And I think in South America, there's a couple of countries, they didn't announce it yet, but are about to pass these chiropractic laws that Christopher Kent helped write.
Yeah, so we're having some influence internationally. It's making some of the other international chiropractic groups a little uneasy.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Well, that's all right.
We're doing our job,
Yep.
they do their job, and hopefully we'll win out.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So here's a little something fun. 2013 Global Summit. We went on a fishing trip.
Well, we went for a boat ride.
Yeah, we went on a boat ride. We caught nothing, but it was so fun because I was chatting with everybody on the boat. There was maybe 8 or 10 of us out there, and it was fun. Although we didn't catch anything, I was like, "Are we gonna go fishing this year and catch some fish?"
I would love to.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's set something up in Miami. You guys are invited as well. Let's set it up where we actually catch something. I don't know how we can do that, but let's do it again.
We'll have to go to the grocery store.
Yeah. bring it back with us. Okay, so let's talk 2014 Miami Global Summit. Why is it important for a person to be there this year?
Well, this year, if you're in the U.S., we're close to home.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to return to the U.S. with the summit at least once every 4 to 5 years,
right,
to make sure that we maintain our base and make sure that the U.S. chiropractors who are really responsible for our growth, for our beginnings, have the opportunity to come and reconnect with us, and with all of our international members who come over. And there's a lot of international members. In fact, I would say the DR, we had more international chiropractors than U.S. chiropractors.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to meet other chiropractors from around the world, find out where they're at, what they need from us as far as help to grow chiropractic where they are,
right,
and find out how you can become really involved in what the IFCO is about. And if you're an IFCO member, you really owe it to yourself to come and find out what we're doing.
Right.
Get a feel for the IFCO and where we're at now, because we are a different organization than we were as the FSCO.
Yeah. And I know it's really, really important. I've been talking about this all morning, getting involved in the profession and sharing the profession with the world, community by community. I had a presentation on Thursday that I gave here at New Beginnings, and it was specifically talking about that, getting out in your communities and talking about chiropractic, sharing it. And that's what's so important. And we'll take your talents, whatever it is that you have, and we'll utilize them for the profession to share. As long you have to become a member first. So, Greg, how do we become a member?
Oh, becoming a member is simple. You talk to one of us, you get a membership application, or you just contact the IFC office at IFCOChiro.info. And Renee is great and will be right on top of things, get you signed up, get you an application, or sign you up right on the phone. And becoming a member is really simple. It's probably the easiest thing in the IFCO.
Yeah, absolutely. And Greg, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers about yourself before we head out?
No, I think I covered it.
Okay. How can somebody get in touch with you if they want to talk with you specifically?
Be happy to talk to anybody. You can contact me by email at lifepage, LIFEPAGE, at AOL.com.
Right.
Or give me a call at 973-948-5556. And I'd be happy to talk to anybody about chiropractic.
And what's your website so folks can look you up online too?
www.bfchiro.info.
bfchiro.info. Perfect. Greg, thanks so much for coming out on the program today. It was very informative. We learned a lot about you. Great stories, a little bit about IFCO, and make sure we get out to that global summit. That's very, very important to help keep the profession growing.
And Frank, let me just say, for myself and for the IFCO, you are doing an awesome, incredible job of getting information out and just doing this. This is just incredible. This is great.
Thank you.
You.
Yep. Okay, great. Yep. Appreciate it. Yep. Be well. Great. Enjoy the rest of the day here at New Beginnings.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks.
See you, everybody.
All right. That was Greg Stetzel, everybody. And we are at New Beginnings, nbchiro.org, or .com. Sorry about that. Up next, I think...